So it will be McEnroe to open this quarterfinal.
Love. Love. Love.
McEnroe being left-handed, just catching the sun there as he serves.
$40-15. Game to McEnroe.
Well, John McEnroe has been roundly criticized by the press for his antics on the court, but we had a chance to talk to him about it, and he explained a little bit of why he is like he is.
I've always grown up believing that, you know, when you go out in a sporting activity, that you're supposed to be very serious and competitive, and you're not supposed to laugh and joke around. That's what I was brought up believing. I suppose part of it was from my parents, and part of it was from seeing other athletes. A guy like Bernard King, who's a great basketball player, has got this very, very serious face on the court, but they don't say, hey, Bernard, how come you don't smile during the game? But with me, they go out there and they say, what's wrong? How come you're not enjoying yourself? So I don't understand why they do that to me and they don't do it to other athletes that are just as intense as I am. That's my way of being intense. It's not my way of being miserable. Because of the way I act sometimes in the court doesn't mean I don't enjoy it. You know, as a matter of fact, I enjoy it more now than I did the last couple of years. I'm enjoying it more and seeing myself improve and reaping some of the benefits and being able to say that I've won Wimbledon a certain number of times in the U.S. Open. That's what makes it all worthwhile. The biggest thrill, I think, was first time I won Wimbledon in '81 when I beat Borg. Probably the most satisfying was when I beat Connors last year at Wimbledon. Just the way I played, I thought that might have been the best match I ever played, period, and certainly the best match in a big event. Well, there's a lot of things that bug me about Wimbledon, although Wimbledon itself has made an effort to come to an accord with me, and they've really made an effort. I mean, it's really the press people and the newspapers that deal in absolute lies that really cause the problem, because for example, you know, I'm living with Tatum O'Neal at this stage, and they made this whole big thing about how the chairman of the All England Committee said that they don't think that she should come along with me. You know, and this was like in a lot of newspapers, and that was never said by this person. You know, and he made a full claim saying otherwise, but the damage has already been done. People assume that that's a true thing. We had people outside our house at some stage a couple months ago in the beach, like dug in like they were Army soldiers and with camera people, and it turned out that it was the English press, you know, like 100 yards from my house. And we had to call the police and things such as that, and it amazes. It's really, you know, I feel like I don't get surprised by anything, but even that still surprises you. They're just waiting there just to do things like that when I get there, and that makes it, you know, unless I win Wimbledon, I don't feel fulfilled there at all. I really am looking forward to the time when I don't have to go back there.
He may not like playing here, and it may come a time when he doesn't play here, but for the moment he's playing and playing extremely well. Let's get back to that match then. On center court, just underway, Kevin Curren serving to John McEnroe, love one.
Spot, please. Love 15. All.
Yes. Well, how does one see the ball so well as that? A blistering first serve and a blistering return. And in this very brilliant light, can't be too easy to see the ball. Oh.
30 all. Forty 30. Deuce.
Very, very fast service action, this very fast racket work. Starts slowly, of course, takes back slowly, and then really explodes into the ball. Very difficult to follow the racket hit. Deuce.
Advantage McEnroe.
Great serve.
Deuce.
Server trying to get the feel of the rhythm.
Advantage Curren. Game to Curren. One game all, first set.
One game all, McEnroe serving. This time not embarrassed by the sun, being the left-hander.
First service. Love 15. 15 all. (30-15).
Well, now, you notice McEnroe stands well out on the side of the court, well away from the center service line. And I think he does this, of course, in order to get right out to the angle onto the forehand. That sort of serve, aiming for the sideline there.
Game to McEnroe. Two games to one. McEnroe leads. First set.
So John McEnroe staying on serve, kind of a feeling out process going on there. Meanwhile, over on court number 1, Anders Jarred, the number 5 seed in the tournament, playing Heinz Guntard, a match that has been just as close as can be, but what a difference one game can make. Sometime Jarred, a service break in the 10th game of the first set to win it 6-4, and he had a break in the last game here, and he is now serving for the set at deuce. So very few mistakes in this match. It's been very well played on both sides. And a good serve by Anders Jarred. Jarred has played the bigger points better. That's been the only difference in the match. Anders Jarred has sort of slipped through the draw with relatively little notoriety. He's struggled a little bit. He's had a couple of tough matches, actually, and one against Scott Davis. Set point now. And again, you saw that good deep serve, and there's the second set for Anders Jarred. So Guntard has only let 2 games slip by, but the 2 he's let slip by each have cost him a set. Let's get back to center court. Dan Maskell and John Barrett.
6 games to 3.
First service. First service.
Well, 1-1. It surely must have been a fault. It may have touched the top of the net, but...
And the lineswoman on that line didn't signal that she was onside.
Right, ladies and gentlemen. Please play on, Mr. McEnroe.
David Howie is in charge today from Leicester.
Well, a lady's voice in the crowd. I mean, get on with it.
Please, would spectators refrain from crying out just as serve is about to start. Thank you. Play on, please, Mr. Curren. Love. Love. Love.
Great
Game
serve.
Curren. Two games all, first set.
Well, now, each man having filled out his opponent, 4 games of play, and ought to see the match really settle down now.
Love.
Dangerous place sometimes, the centre court.
15.
Here comes a very early ball return down the backhand line, but the forehand stroke. And we saw there, of course, the example of a beautiful stroke player, this man. Well, I doubt whether in his previous 4 matches McEnroe's had to contend with a reply like that under pressure after one of his best volleys, and he was just a little bit slow there. And I don't think the former South African was very happy about that service. No, he isn't. Well, it's 30 all, but Kevin Curren can't agree that the last decision, a service that was very close to the line, wasn't called a fault. And a retort by McEnroe there. Why not call him to play?
Quiet, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
2 games all, 30 all, first set. Well, now, here's a wonderful break point coming up. The volley is not quite deep enough, and Curren gets across with ease and plays it. In this class of tennis, you see the volley has to be rather better than that.
Choose.
So the serving here is going to test the line judges. These really fast and accurate serves.
One fault. Advantage, Curren. Three games to 2. Curren leads. First set.
Well, Kevin Curren, absolutely magnificent in his returning of the serve there. It was a rather short second serve. I thought a deuce, the first deuce point, which brought the break point. That backhand return from Curren was absolutely magnificent. And McEnroe, you see, hasn't been tested yet like this by somebody who returns as well as this championship. And the last point of the game was another remarkable example of good timing and solid ground strokes. The return, not ideally low, but the volley wasn't deep enough again, and the sheer pace there beat McEnroe. He had to hurry to turn to his backhand side for the volley. He hits these stinging drives against McEnroe, Curren, against anybody, as a matter of fact, but he's a very difficult person to play against. You don't get any rhythm. The rallies tend to be rather short, and he hits very, very hard and early. Very like McEnroe does himself. We'll see if he can protect this break. 3-2.
Love.
Both of these men, once they get going, of course, can be deadly on the high returns of serve.
Love.
So McEnroe's quality of return of service being tested here.
Love.
Second is.
First service.
Quite certain that McEnroe hadn't anticipated the direction of that service. Very strong bleep from the magic eye. Oh, that's a glorious return.
40-15.
Great improvisation here. Sorry, Don. He just plays with hardly any swing back of the racket at all and produces the pass. Rather lovely piece of match play stroking. Yes.
40-30.
Oh, that's a great second service.
Four games to 2. Curren leads. First set.
And Curren deceiving McEnroe with the direction of that second service and with the power of it, too. It's 3 games in a row for Curren from 1-2.
Love.
play.
30 love.
Well, two lovely strokes there by McEnroe. The service that took his opponent right out of court, but Curren made a lovely reply, and then that very, very good winner of a lowish ball over the high part of the net. Great play.
Love.
And this very excitable crowd appreciating the quick reflexes of McEnroe there as he managed to get a volley off the net cord.
Forty 15.
Still standing well out.
Forty 30.
A very careless second service.
Deuce. Ball was out.
There's the hand up to confirm the call. .40 love to deuce.
Advantage McEnroe.
Yes. Well, here comes the volley. Now, McEnroe looks as though he's asleep here. He doesn't cover that cross-court shot as he should have done.
Advantage Curren.
Well, the early ball again. The ball still rising when Curren played his forehand. The difference it makes, that split second.
One fault. Five games to 2. Curren leads. First set.
Well, Kevin Curren with wicked forehand returns, and to make matters worse for John McEnroe, he will be serving with new tennis balls, always advantageous to the server. McEnroe about to lose a set here. He's down 2 breaks. Curren will serve for the first set. Meanwhile, over on court number 1, we've been watching a match between Anders Jarred and Heinz Gundhardt. And Jarred has won the first 2 sets, 6-4, 6-3, with just 1 break in each. However, he himself is about to be broken. An add point now to Heinz Gundhardt on the serve of Anders Jarred, but Jarred has already got 2 service breaks in this 3rd set. He leads it 4 games to 1. and a break point for Goodhart. You could really see Anders Jorrid's confidence grow. And there's the break for Goodhart. That is his first service break in the match. And he is still one break down. So Jorrid 2 sets to 1 up, 2 sets to love up rather, and 4 games to 2 up in the 3rd set. Meanwhile, over on center court, Kevin Curren now with an opportunity to serve for the first set, playing the #1 seed, John McEnroe.
Quiet, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. First service. Love.
The first and second services going in like bullets. 5-2, 30 love, first set.
Love.
So his third ace gives him 3 set points.
First set to Curren by 6 games to 2. McEnroe to serve. Second set.
So after 31 minutes,
Right, please, ladies and
McEnroe
gentlemen.
loses his first set in this championship. And here's a concealed lob if ever I saw one. All against the book. That it was a jab. It wasn't the usual swing that disguises the lob. Love 15.
15 all.
And this isn't the usual McEnroe. Such a great first volleyer behind the service.
The perfectionist in McEnroe, he must have the ball boys in the right positions before he'll start.
All. 40-30.
Well, a man who can return some of the returns we've seen earlier can also do that. A typical beginner's snatch at the ball. And on the second service, too. McEnroe looked positively slow there, mentally and physically. That was by no means a genuine pass in this company. Deuce?
First service. Advantage, Curren.
This is really quite un-McEnroe-like.
First game, second set. Curren leads by 1 set to love.
Well, Kevin Curren just playing brilliant tennis, and John McEnroe having his game taken away from him. Meanwhile, over in court number 1, Anders Jarred an opportunity to serve for the match against Heinz Gundhardt. And we were at 30-all now in the 8th game of the 3rd set. Jarred won the first two, 6-4, 6-3. Arthur Ashe, you could really see Jarred's confidence grow after he came from behind to beat Claudio Pinatta.
Yes, he was down 2 sets in a break on court 2 in the first round. Now we are at match point. Jarred, the last remaining Swede. 1985 Wimbledon.
An interesting analogy about him just a couple minutes ago.
Oh, yes. I thought he was the Pete Rose of tennis. He hustles more than anybody I know. That was just wide. He never gives up runs for everything.
Probably the most emotional player amongst the Swedes. Oh, came up short that time.
And you can see he's nervous. He's shrugging his shoulders, shaking off nervousness. I don't think even he suspected that he would have a great chance of being in the semifinals.
Well, in fact, he's never gotten past the first round here.
And he has not played a seed yet.
He's the only remaining seeded player in the bottom part of the draw here. And that takes us to an add point for the match once more.
Match point number 2. He broke a racket out here in the same court in frustration 3 matches ago against Scott Davis.
And there it is. Anders Jarred is on into the semifinals, clenched fist and all. And an impressive victory over Heinz Gundhardt today. And the simple fact is, Gundhardt did not play bad tennis.
No, he didn't. In fact, quite a few of the games went, 6, 7 aces.
Let's take a look then at what remains then for Anders Jarred. He'll play the winner of the Boris Becker-Henri Leconte match. That'll be later today, so the number 5 seed on into the semifinal. He has had just a wonderful Wimbledon fortnight so far. If we were to end in the semifinals, he'd still have to say, what a great tournament I had.
Well, he meets now either Becker or Leconte. Becker's ankle is suspect, so who knows what's going to happen there.
Let's get back to center court now, and what could be the biggest surprise of the tournament, Kevin Curren, good grass court player, playing even better than he usually plays on this surface against the defending champion, John McEnroe. Dan Maskell and John Barrett.
15 all. Thirty 15. Or
Second double fault.
thirty 40.
And that double fault gives his opponent break point. Oh. Well, that was extraordinary.
Deuce.
The first was a complete miss-hit off the handle of the racket, and the second one nearly got it back off the top of the frame. Deuce.
Advantage Curren. Game to Curren. Two games to love. Curren leads. Second set.
And that was a very awkward ball that Curren had to play on that forehand to win that point. Slow bouncing ball, he could have easily rushed that. So, McEnroe serving, love two, second set.
Fifteen love. Thirty love.
Third ace.
Love.
Three errors on the backhand return of service in succession from Curren.
Game to McEnroe. 2-1, McEnroe leads in the third set. Curren leads by 2 sets to love.
Meanwhile, on court, on into the semifinals. Meanwhile, back on center court, a very important point upcoming here for Kevin Curren. He is down 15-30 on his own serve to John McEnroe. Let's watch.
Forty, 30.
That's a beautiful return. Well, this is a second service, and what a magnificent return. Ball still rising when he played that.
Advantage, Curren.
All's well that ends well, but I think Curren took a ball that might have gone out.
Game to Curren. Two games all, third set.
Just a faint glimmer that McEnroe might get a grip on this service, but not at all. 2-all, third set.
Love. Love. No! 30-15.
Second double fault.
One fault.
Well, that
Please
picture,
fail, Mr. McEnroe.
that picture tells it all.
What was that shot? What was that?
Tell them.
What?
Please fail.
What was the shot?
I didn't say the truth. Please fail.
Go ahead. I can't hear. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Short outside the line.
Well, I wonder if we can see this for ourselves. I don't know whether we'll see any puff of chalk, but I think clearly it was just outside the line.
Second service. All.
99 times out of 100, McEnroe would make that volley. Two games all, 30 all. Third set. First two sets to Curren.
Forty 30. Game to McEnroe. Three games to two. McEnroe leads in the third set. Curren leads by 2 sets to love.
Well, a hard-earned service game that time for John McEnroe, and he had to overcome John McEnroe. Little conversation there with the umpire once more. It's been kind of an ongoing conversation, and in this case once more, I'm not too sure, but that John did have at least a reasonable case, Arthur.
You're right, but he's still coming to the net substantially more times than Curren, 56 to 44, and he is winning, but not as many percentage-wise as Curren. I think that's basically because Curren is knocking off the first volleys after that strong first service. So this is a rare occasion when you don't find John McEnroe atop the net point percentage category.
Now, it's interesting that we talked about the fact that Kevin Curren was only as good as his first serve, but when his first serve is going well, it makes his first volley, that much more effective, and that is a good weapon for him, too.
He also was not distracted by the French Open. He didn't even play the French. Just started here earlier on grass. John McEnroe, of course, elected not to even play one of the two tune-up events before Wimbledon. In fact, he went back home after the French, practiced at a club in Long Island, then flew back.
Arthur Ashe, incidentally, looking at Kevin Curren as a Davis Cup possibility. He is now an American citizen.
Has
6
been
weeks
so.
ago.
Yes, 6 weeks ago.
Let's get back to center court now. Dan Maskell and John Barrett.
Right, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Love.
There was a volley that was worth a point. Gloriously struck back into half volley and wrong footing the opponent.
Love.
McEnroe back in turn of service hasn't been too good in the last few games. Still trying to drive it. He hasn't resorted to chipping to make sure he gets it back.
Love. Second service. Game to Curren. 3 games all, third set.
And I think at this stage, McEnroe has been producing nothing really in the terms of service return. Neither blocked returns of any decisiveness nor full-blooded backhand replies. So this is really a very serious moment for him now. It's 3-all, third set.
Love 15.
That's his third double fault, and I wonder whether McEnroe is a little confused too about where to serve to this man.
Love 30.
So each man now facing a real examination.
Love 40.
Fault called. Yes.
4 games to 3, Curren leads in the third set, and by 2 sets to love.
Well, Dan, I wonder if we have seen the decisive game of the match. Certainly McEnroe was half a yard slower than usual again. His serve still hasn't achieved its normal sting, and he's giving second serve opportunities to a man who is playing at an absolute peak of inspiration. Kevin Curren's returns of serve today have been uncompromising. He's taken the ball on the rise, he's hit it early, and he's found the lines all too often for the comfort of the defending champion. It's been a marvelously controlled performance. And quite frankly, all he has to do now is to hold his nerve, and he can achieve a second semi-final at Wimbledon. And the McEnroe supporters in the crowd trying to lift the champion, who is in a strange mood. I can't put my finger on it, but he is lethargic. He's half a yard slow. It's not the McEnroe who was so magnificent here in beating Jimmy Connors in the final here last year, but then he's playing a man inspired. 4-3.
1 fault. 15 love.
One just wonders what is going on in that mind.
Love.
No touch on one of his favorite shots, the forehand lob.
Love.
And the sixth ace.
Game for Curren. Five games to 3. Curren leads. Third set.
And that seventh ace that one could hardly see there must surely have finished off the champion.
Thank you.
Three 5, third set.
Love 15.
Better quickly forget that. It's his fourth double fault.
All.
And a backhand cross-court pass played as coolly as a cucumber. On the brink of a great victory, to play as coolly as that was really quite something.
All. 40-30.
And a very bold second service that caught Curren a little heavy-footed.
Game to McEnroe. Five games to 4 currently.
At the champions' dinner, when publicly he thanked Tatum O'Neill for making my life better, he said. Perhaps he's discovered there is another element to life besides tennis. Certainly something is lacking from the champion today. But for Kevin Curren, it has been an absolutely marvellous experience and a marvellous demonstration of how to contain power and how to transmit power. It's been all about power hitting on serve, on return of serve, and he's taken full advantage of McEnroe's lack of intensity.
New ball.
So the moment of Kevin Curren's life, serving for a place in the semi-final for the second time that would dismiss the world champion and holder of the title, and with the new balls.
Love. All. Just a minute, please. Forward. One fault.
And McEnroe here, the last desperate throw, scurrying across to the volley of Curren, desperately tried to find the forehand pass down the line, stumbles, loses his footing. He's all right. It's 30-15. He's just sort of banged his playing arm there in that tumble.
Quiet, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Quiet, please. Thank you.
2 match points.
One fault. Quiet, please.
Well, one of the best backhand returns that McEnroe's played down the line. And so he comes up again to serve, taking his time. It's still match point.
Quiet, please, ladies and gentlemen. 6-2, 6-2, 6-4.
And so Kevin Curren leaves the court, seeded number 8, the finest victory of his career, and the royal box there to see that great victory. And what must have been an hour and 49 minutes of agony for the champion.
Well, and I must say that Arthur Ashe and I, in the car on the way out here, said this one would be over in straight sets, and we said it'd be less than 2 hours. So we were half right. We just didn't say who'd win it, that's all. Kevin Curren then on into the semifinals. He will play the winner of the Jimmy Connors-Ricardo Acuna match. A big surprise, to be sure. Anders Jarred also all the way through to the semifinals with his victory today over Hans Guntart. He will play the winner of the Boris Becker-Henri Leconte match that comes up. So 2 surprises in the semifinals now. Curren and Jarred still to come. Either Connors and Acuna or Becker and Leconte. And that will make up the final 4. Let's go to Arthur Ashe now, down in the interview room.
Kevin, are you surprised to be in the semifinals?
I don't feel like maybe being in the semifinals, but beating McEnroe along the way was a bit of a surprise, considering the fact that I've only won one of 19 or 20 sets in the past.
Everybody knows you serve very well, but would you have been that worried if your serve had not been going as well as it did today?
Well, certainly. It definitely dictates the tempo of the match, and I felt like throughout the tournament I've been serving well. And my game is suited to a fast surface like the grass. I move relatively well, and I'm not a consistent returner, but I hit the big winner now and again, and that was, you know, once I got my nose out in front, that was good enough today.
What difference does it make to play in center court as, say, court 2, one of the field courts?
Well, the atmosphere is quite a bit different. You know, people really get into the match, and the seating is so good that they're in the match, but you're not really aware that they're there. And I feel like the surface itself is a bit slower on the center court. You get a little bit of bounce.
Did you feel the crowd was pulling for you?
Yeah, there was at times I felt like they were pulling for John, but generally I felt like most of the crowd was behind me when they knew I was capable when I pulled up the first set and then got ahead early in the second.
How disturbed were you when he caused a cessation of play there in the middle of your match?
Well, I was a little concerned because at the time I was really on top of him. I was dictating the tempo of the match, and I felt like I didn't want that to get away from me. And we played in San Francisco one time and won the first set, and we had a similar predicament, and after that I just fell apart. But I was convinced today that, you know, I was going to maintain my concentration.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, Arthur.
Well, a day of high drama on center court here at Wimbledon as Kevin Curren becomes yet another great success story. He's on into the semifinals over the man who I must say looked unbeatable. But it wasn't... On court number 1, Jimmy Connors, the number 3 seed against Ricardo Acuna, who had come through with some major upsets. But in all honesty, Arthur, I don't think a lot of people really gave Ricardo a great chance today.
I agree, Barry. Acuna from Chile likes to play the baseline game like Connors, but is just not nearly as adept as Jimmy Connors.
Yeah, that's it. Almost a mirror image in style of play. And you can see what an acrobat Acuna is. Angry with himself, but he was just outclassed today.
Yes. Playing on court number 1, the fastest court. He almost lost in the first round of the qualifying. Down match point there.
So it's been a fine tournament for him regardless. He's the first Chilean to get this far since 1961.
That's Luis Ayala.
And you saw what a great lob Jimmy Connors had there. Connors is just sneaking up on people. There's a left judge there. And now we come to match point. Jimmy Connors really never looked back. This one, no contest, about the best way to describe it.
Not really, and he played this match point with a serve and volley, much to everybody's surprise.
Very steady for Jimmy Connors today. He did get to a tiebreaker in the middle set, but other than that, a very easy afternoon for the winner, Jimmy Connors. He's on to the semifinals. Then on center court, Boris Becker, the guy that everyone has been talking about, not just us. We might have started it, but everybody's talking about it now. And Henri Leconte had 2 fine matches back-to-back.
You're right. And talk about Jimmy Connors' ground strokes. You can talk about this guy's all-court game.
Very emotional player. This is in a tiebreaker in the very first set at 7-7. And now 8-7 for Becker with the serve. Becker just played so emotionally charged. Miss hit there by Henri Leconte. And Becker just seems to be getting better and growing stronger and getting more confident with every match.
You're right, and everybody was wondering about that injured ankle, but today it didn't look like it bothered him at all.
Becker now serving for the match. 4th set, ace, just like that. And he is pumped at that point. Leconte can only look on. He's just started. He said, are you sure?
Right.
Meanwhile, Becker just kind of waiting it out at match point now. And Henri Leconte, who will have a tournament to remember here as well. He's had a very good tournament. Did well to get this far, and there it is. And Boris Becker is on into the semifinal. What a fortnight it's been for the 17-year-old West German.
Well, Arthur, we've been talking about Boris Becker since day one here at Wimbledon. Here we are headed for the semifinals, and we're still talking about Boris Becker. He won't go away.
And he's not going to go away. In today's quarterfinal match against Leconte, two very well-coached players, but Becker came through.
In the semifinal, he gets Anders Yard, the number 5 seed. So it's Becker and Yard. Should be most interesting. Then up at the top of the draw, Kevin Curren, biggest surprise of the tournament, of course, in beating John McEnroe today. He plays Jimmy Connors. I think it's fair to say, Arthur, we didn't think any one of those four would be in the semifinals, and that includes Jimmy Connors.
I agree, but then Kevin Curren 2 years ago beat Jimmy Connors on court number 2, so he's not surprised at being in this position.
Well, a great victory today for Kevin Curren, and a very magnanimous John McEnroe met with us after the match, and he talked about just what his problems were out on the center court with the man who beat him today, Kevin Curren.
Well, I think overwhelmed is about like the appropriate word. I think I know how Jimmy felt. Jimmy feels a little bit about last year. Sometimes you go out there and you're just not feeling quite as well as you like, and you don't feel the freshness that you need, and it hurt me a little bit, I think, the rain in the first week. I mean, looking back, there's a lot of things that hurt me, but what hurt me the most was his serve and just the power of his game today, because I didn't have that extra kick that I needed on my serve and my game, and he was just, he kind of tried to do the same thing. I think the attitude that I had last year, he went in there and just said, I'm going to just overpower him, and that's really what he did. He overpowered me.
Very honest answers from John McEnroe. I'm not too sure, but that he didn't make more friends today with the press here by losing than he ever did by winning here.
Well, certainly, in the press interview afterwards, most people thought maybe he might even skip it, not come down at all, but John was magnanimous. He was there almost twice the time that he normally allows.
You've been an athlete. You know what that's like. It's a very, very uncomfortable thing to do, to go into a press room, and you really have to credit John McEnroe with doing that. That is tough. Some